Hello, everyone. This is Alicia Rawl from Weigel Library, and I'm talking to you today about some of the space constraints that we have in Weigel and how we propose to deal with them. Okay, so the challenge is we are running out of space for new materials. So we're pretty much estimating that we really only have 2 to 3 years before a shift is going to be required. So our proposed solution is that we relocate some of the back issues of some of the magazines and journals offsite to the annex. So basically, other library locations in K-State libraries already do this. Pretty much any journal that's older than 5 years is automatically moved out to the annex. However, in Weigel, we've had some exemptions basically. So we've kept all of the journals that fell within the NA, basically architecture ranges. This was a project that Maxine had hoped to change so that she could get some extra room in Weigel as well. However, the hailfire kind of redirected staff, so we weren't able to do that at this time. So what we are working on now is really trying to determine what critical titles do we really need immediate access to for all the years involved. This is a short-term solution. Essentially, this buys us time for a more in-depth weeding project when we have more of a chance to talk to faculty and staff. So the benefits of this, this gives us the space needed to grow the collection as well as accept donations. It's proactive. This gives us a higher level of control to identify what exceptions we need, and as well as incorporating feedback from AP Design. We're really trying to meet all the program needs throughout AP Design with this process. And in essence, this is just going to delay a larger reading project probably by about 4 years. That gives us more time to get to know the collection and as well as your research and teaching needs. So the annex, for those of you that don't know, it's just a large warehouse that we store some of our extra materials offsite. And it's very close. It is here in Manhattan. So I want to talk through kind of the process on how you can gain access to these materials. So the first thing, if there is an individual article that you need, what's going to happen is you can request a scan of an individual article that's downloaded through the Interlibrary Loan platform. So officially, we say 3 to 5 business days before you're going to get the scan. However, the majority of the articles that are requested, we see delivered within 24 hours or less. Okay, so just to kind of walk you through how this goes. So if you find a citation, say this is one of the journals that we had moved offsite for the year 2006. So what you would do is go to K-State Libraries. You can plug the article title in and search by that. Okay. And then what you're going to see here, so this shows us, hey, there's no online options, or is there some other way to get this? So what you're going to be able to do is basically you scroll down. First, you always need to sign in, and then you can request an article scan, basically. And this will pre-populate all of the information from this article. There's a few things you need to fill out, like whether you want a searchable PDF or a deadline date when you need it by. And then you just submit your request and the article will show up in your Interlibrary Loan account, and you will get an email basically saying that it's ready to be downloaded. And again, it takes about 24 hours. So also, if there are bound volumes that you want, that's also something that we can get delivered from the annex to Weigel. And there are different reasons why you might want the full bound volume. Say it might be something that, an entire issue is dedicated to something, or maybe you want to do like a range of historical research. Basically, I mean, we've requested, because there already are some of our materials in the annex, and in the past we've requested, say, like, we want to see this 10-year span of this journal, and they will deliver that straight to Weigel, and then we can just house it here for you guys to conduct your research. And here's the process to kind of show you how you can request bound volumes. And please keep in mind that If you don't know how to do this, you're always welcome to come down to Weigel Library and we can walk you through this process or do it for you. So here's the article we were looking for before. And again, say that we actually want the whole issue. So then what you do, again, you see there's nothing here. You always want to sign in. You always get better results if you're signed into your account. So going through that process of signing in, it's thinking. And then once you get signed in, you were looking for 2006 volume 9. Okay, so now you see this request retrieval button pops up over here on the right side. So now we're just looking for 2006. So we're hitting the show more items. So it pops down and then up, there it is. You hit request retrieval. It's going to take you to where do you want to pick it up? So you can have it delivered straight here to Weigel, and then you hit submit request. So it's a pretty simple process. And again, we are always willing to help you get this filled out so you get what you need. So this spring, Ellen, Urton, and myself have been really reviewing all 650 titles that we have here in Weigel Library to kind of see like what we thought could go off-site. So, and again, this is not a large weeding project. We're really just trying to buy us 4 years of kind of unrestricted growth. So what we're asking from you is to kind of go through and review our recommendations. And if you can provide us feedback due May 13th, that would be great. And we'll talk about how to submit that. And really the idea is over the summer, you don't want to be doing this type of shifting work while the library is, in its busy season. So we're planning on getting started in the summer, this summer. So here are some of our recommendations and how this process will work. So we kind of started from the question of what do we want immediate access to in Weigel Library, knowing that space is a constraint. So we prioritize things that was going to create a visual experience. We want Weigel Library to be a place for ideas, inspiration, and really to kind of maintain that serendipity of browsing experience for students and faculty. Other things we don't want to move off is monographs on firms, designer, and kind of theme-based issues. So those we want to keep on site, like all the back years. We know that things that are heavily used by students are really anything with detailed plans in them. And then other things that we wanted to keep. So we've kind of like got a feel for the types of materials that students use in ENVD and other types of classes. And really, since these students are really just getting to know libraries, we don't want to create any extra barriers for them. So these are items that we've also flagged to keep on site so that they don't have to just now learn that extra process of making an annex request. So what do we feel like we can potentially move out to the annex? So anything that's primarily text-based and something that's usually found through scholarly citations. So if it's indexed in some way, even if we don't have online access for that, as long as we have those citations, we can still pretty easily find those articles. Anything with low circulation, and we'll kind of talk about how we judge that. If things have great online access, plus with high quality visuals, that's something that we felt like some of those issues could be moved off site. If there are things that are just really a limited number of years available, kind of spotty coverage. So for example, say that we have this journal, but we really only have it from 1963 to 1971. So those aren't particularly useful. And there are already some time policies set in place, and this just kind of gives us more control. So what I mean by that is when we say the back issues of a journal, we usually say like we'll keep the most current X a number of years. Sometimes that's 10 years, sometimes that's 5 years, sometimes it's 20 years. And it's kind of based on the content of the journal. So here's kind of the criteria that we looked at, the circulation data since 2015, including things that are just browsed in the library. That's included in this data as well. So we really looked at each title specifically, like into the content. Like, was this a text heavy journal, or was it something that, had large images that were really like at the heart of the publication, things with detailed plans. So we asked ourselves, is there really value in browsing this title, or is this really something that you're just really going to find when you have a citation? We also kind of distinguished things, whether it was a scholarly trade or a popular press. And then some of the other details we provide is like, what's the current subscription status? Is this ceased? Did they stop publishing it in print? Was there a title change? Was it a canceled subscription from K-State Libraries? Is it still active, or was it potentially a gift that was given to us by someone? And so the criteria we're looking at also is, has this title been deemed a core publication by AP Design faculty? And then we've also used the AASL core title standards. So they come in fundamental, recommended, and topical. So we did look up each of these titles for that. And then, so kind of our preference is, so we would much rather keep large runs of journals in our stacks than the small one-offs that maybe we just have like 5 or 10 years of this publication. Those we feel like can go to the annex. And as I mentioned, there is, for some of these titles, there's already a standing annex policy in place saying that after 10 years, this moves to the annex. And that allows us to better plan our space. So we know that 10 years of publication is probably going to be this large. So we know that it's not going to balloon out and take up a lot of our additional space. So this is just kind of some of the documents that are being sent to you along with this email. So there's the title change cheat sheet, and that just really hits the big titles. So these are the large spans, and we've kind of broken them down by the departments. So together we put architecture and interior architecture. None of the ID titles, since they're so limited in the space, were really affected. But ID staff is also able to provide feedback if they see something that they disagree with. And then the other section we broke out to LARCP. So there's, in addition to that Word document that kind of hits the main highlights, we wanted to give you all the data. I don't think that everyone needs to go through and review this, but if you would like to, we wanted to give you the option. So what we do is we provide the circulation by year since 2015, including the grand total since 2015. We included the number of items that are currently in Weigel. We provided a status on the print subscription. And one of the really important things that we did is we conducted an in-depth review of not just the online access, but the image quality, because sometimes we're running into issues where we say we have database coverage of something, but it's only the text. And for those very visual journals, that basically makes it unusable for our audience. So Ellen Urton and I really review these title by title to see what the online access actually looked like. Again, whether it was a core title, either from AP Design or AASL fundamental listings. And then there's an important cell in this document that says it's a change. So we listed all the journals that we have, but really the only one, if it says change, yes, that's really the only thing that's a change to our current policy. And then there's 3 cells next to that says keep all items in Weigel. The next cell says partial, and that means there's a policy to transfer some of the titles to the annex, or the last cell says move, and that just moves all or almost all, but maybe the current one over to the annex. So that kind of shows what is going on with these documents, and I will pull them up here in a second. But if you have recommendations, you can contact myself, Alicia Rawl, or Ellen Urton. There's our email address. You can email, call. Please, if you want to talk through this, request individual meetings. We're happy to come and talk to you. If you would like us to come and speak to your department, if you have concerns, we're more than happy to do so. Again, we would like feedback by May 13th if possible. And also the Weigel Library Advisory Committee is also helping us with that. So feel free to talk to them as well. Okay, and then just to show you a few things, this is again, kind of that cheat sheet document that shows here's architecture and interior arc and LARCP. So we explained what the changes that we were recommending, as well as some of our reasoning for it. Additionally, so the document that we plan to provide to everyone is that has all of the data is this large document that you have the title, you have the circulation stats by year, including the grand total, some more information if you need it, how many items there are in Weigel, the status of the print subscription. Here's the review of the online access, whether or not it's already partially in the annex. Again, if these are a core title determined by AP Design or AASL, and here again is an important cell. This is what's saying, is this a change to our current practice? So if you just want to review the things that are changing, feel free to just select yes, and that gives you more detail. We did a very loose, like, by audience. This is not very scientific, but just kind of our general feel. So, and again, this is, so keep all, so keep 10 years, or is this something that we feel like we could move all? Again, feel free to contact me with questions, and thank you so much for your time.